Hindi tayo pwede magpahuli. Tayo ang nangunguna sa lahat ng bansa.
Good governance requires disability inclusion. Good governance requires that there is a meaningful participation of people with disability.
Gusto ko kasi natin ma-highlight yung skills nila para makita po ng mga employers na meron din po skill sa sector.
When it comes to employment, no, anong mga nagiging problema natin, transportation, lalo na sa ating mga naka-wheelchair, no, yun ang nagiging problema natin. Kaya nga po yun ang purpose ng vlog ko, no, nagtuturo po ako mag-drive ng sasakyan para at iso, yun ang magiging paa natin, no, sa pagpasok at pag-uwi sa bahay.
For purposes of hiring, we shall also consider this group of individuals to be part of our company. Dagdagan po natin sila, sir.
Napakasarap pakinggan yan, mga kaibigan. Niyayakap na tayo ng buong gobyerno. Ipakita po natin na hindi sila magsisisi sa pinalaga na special law para sa atin.
And we have a crucial role to do dahil nga tayo ay nasa Department of Labor and Employment. So we wanted people to help us draft the framework.
Shout out doon din sa mga call center industry. Generous po nila para sa ating may mga kapansanan dahil nakakapag-comply sila ng mga employment, no, for person with disability, mga kaibigan. Huwag po nating ipakitang sa ating gobyerno na tayo ay burden para sa kanila. Ipakita po natin na hindi sila magsisisi doon sa pinalaga na special law para sa atin. The Philippine government is now requiring for good governance and inclusion of Republic Act 7277. Napakasarap pakinggan yan, mga kaibigan. Hinihintay na lang tayo para magkaroon tayo ng inclusive participation para sa ating gobyerno. Malaking pasasalamat na rin sa Congress, no, kung dahil sa upper house o the lower house, sila po ang dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon po ng special law o para sa ating mga may kapansanan. So, lagi ko sinasabi sa aking mga videos, no, yung first thought natin is nanggagaling yan sa conscious mind natin. Na-visualize natin yung isang bagay, narinig natin yan, pumapasok sa conscious mind yan. So, yung conscious mind natin ang nagluluto sa subconscious mind para gawin ang isang bagay. So, ang old thinking, kapag ikaw ay may kapansanan, ka lang sa bahay, hindi ka pwede. Ako, dito na lang ako sa bahay kasi nahihiya akong lumabas kasi ganito ganyan. Yun ang nagtuturo doon sa subconscious mind natin para gawin ang isang bagay. Baguhin natin ang thinking, tanggalin natin lahat yan ng negative thoughts sa ating conscious mind para maging maganda ang kalalabasan na ipakikilos sa atin ng ating subconscious mind. So, andito po ako sa Baylip Hotel sa Intramuros, Manila. No? Ako po ay makikisaksi, no, as focal person ng aming tanggapan, Department of Labor and Employment. Ako ay naatasan upang makilahok po, no, sa gagawing workshop na aking pinagtatrabuhan ng Department of Labor and Employment kung ano ba ang magiging papel, halagahan ng Department of Labor and Employment sa ating mga kababayan may mga kapansanan. Itatakal po lahat ng mga batas ng under Republic Act 7277, yung employment for PWDs o kung anong pong significance ng DOLE para sa mga manggagawang may mga kapansanan. Alright?
Going to the Magna Carta for persons with disability. Chapter 2 ng 72.7 talks sa employment. Basta yun lang ang basahin nyo sa 72.77. Section 5 niyan, ang sinasabi dati, 5% of casual contractual emergency employees on government or incorporation engaged in social development should be reserved to people with disability. Of course, access to quality employment or opportunities should not be denied to all persons with disability. Yan yung Magna Carta Section 5. But, ngayon, inamendahan na yan ng 10.524. Yung sinasabi nating 1%. Okay? 1% for all government agencies, total positions available in government should be reserved to persons with disabilities. Mandatory provision po yun ng 10.524. But as far as the private sector is concerned, yung 1% po is an encouragement. Lahat po ba ng corporation covered on 1%? Hindi po. Lahat tulang ng kumpanya o korporasyon na may 100 at mahigit pang empleyado ang siyang cover ng 1%. Pero encourage mo po yun. Okay, hindi siya mandatory. So what do we do? Hindi naman pala mandatory. Paano natin mapa-employ yung mga person with disability? Okay. Of course, in Chapter 2 ng Magna Carta talks about also of apprenticeship, handicap workers, and labor code. Medyo madaya yung labor code. Sabi sa Magna Carta, suitable employment, equal fringe benefits will be available to qualified persons with disability. Pero pagdating mo sa labor code, yung handicap workers are considered apprentice or learners, di ba? 75%, papayaran mo at least 75%. Pero hindi na dapat yan pinapatupad dahil yung labor code, 442 pa yan, nung araw pa yun, di ba? Kaya Magna Carta, 1992. So dapat medyo impliedly or expressly, meron na sigurong amendment. So if you have a person with disability qualified to do the work, ay dapat same benefits and privileges under the Magna Carta. Now, ano yung single feature ni Magna Carta na to incentivize mo yung private sector? Section 8 ho ni Magna Carta. Kung titignan niyo sa Section 8 ni Magna Carta, ang sabi niya, lahat ng kumpanya na mag-i-employ ng person with disability, 25% of the salary is paid to the worker with disability ay tax deduction from his gross income. Tapos, ano ba yung BP344, ano doon, factor, no? Modification of the facilities, yung expenses, 50% ng gastos ninyo dyan, tax deduction sa net taxable income. Pero tanong, yung bang implementation ng BP 344, provide ng rampa, toilet for people with disability, etc. Cover ba yun ng 50% deductible cost as tax deduction? Hindi ho. Dahil yung BP 344, mandatory ho yun sa lahat ng kumpanya. Hindi ho yun incentives. So, kayong nasa OHHC, nag-i-inspect ho, meron kayong labor inspection power, meron kayong visitation power, hindi nyo ini-implement yung facilities. 83 pa ho yung BP 344 effective, marami pa rin ng kumpanya, hindi siya accessible ng buildings. So, sa framework dapat lumabas yan kasi hindi lang yan function ng DPWH, hindi naman nun yan function ng Bureau of Special Workers and Concern kasi wala naman sa kanila yung visitorial inspection power. Dapat lahat to ng occupational safety facilities implemented under the occupational safety ng batas natin, dapat kasama si DB 344. Matagal naman namin sinasuggest yan, pero mukhang time ni Asek Resyo, hindi siya nabigyan ng pansin ng lubusan. Although she tried to incorporate in your forms, no? Inspection form para ma-check din yung facilities if they're complying with the safety features like ramps. But these are also part of facilities, diba? So I think ito yung matagal na namin na nasa labor agency. And the next idea that we have to push through also is yung incentives of corporate entities that have to be employing persons with disabilities of more than 100. 1% is encouragement. If you don't implement the incentives, for example, ano ba yung role ng DOLE doon? The role of DOLE is to issue a certificate that such and such company is employing a person with disability. In partnership with the Department of Health, that the person with type of disability is under the accreditation of the Department of Health. The last point that I would like you to consider in the framework, good governance requires, disability inclusion, good governance requires that there is a meaningful participation of people with disability. Naging tatlo na po ang kailangan ng actor dito. Government, private sector, and civil society organizations or NGOs. Kasi alam ng gobyerno, hindi niya kayang gawin lahat.
For the simple reason that the labor market will never stop to accommodate the sector. If we are all trying for inclusivity, then they should also be inclusive in skills development. Gusto ko kasi natin ma-highlight yung skills nila para makita po ng mga employers na meron din pong skill sa sector.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sa kasalukuyan po ay kami ay nasa break time. Nakaraang off-cam ako, pinatalakay ko yung inclusion ng PWDs sa employment, mga kaibigan. Dito po ay pinakikita ko ng dole na hindi ko nagkukulang ng dole sa pag-implement ng employment for PWDs. However, mga kaibigan, they have to make themselves as inclusive, no? For example, ang screening process, no, with regard to credential of the employee, the skills, no, kailangan siyempre pakita pa rin ng PWD applicant na kapakipakinabang ang kanyang magiging o pagiging employed, no, kung sakali man na matanggap sa private sector and the government sector. Alright? Okay, mga kaibigan, tinatakan ko dito yung 25% tax exemption ng mga employer, no? Pero as of this day, mga kaibigan, wala akong nakaka-avail na employer for tax exemption for 25% just because of the non-compliant or mga kulang pa siguro mga requirements, no, with regards to employing PWDs.
And we have a crucial role to do dahil nga tayo ay nasa Department of Labor and Employment. Meron tayong Administrative Orders 354 signed in 2016, but it's only an enumeration of minimum services of DOLE. Wala talaga doong tao or bureau or office na parang siya yung magkukumpas ba, no, kung paano natin i-harmonize ang lahat ng programa natin at lalagyan natin ng lens ng disability inclusiveness. And so for the other programs na hinahandle ninyo, ilagay natin yun. Kasi the rule of thumb here, kung talagang gusto natin i-push ito, lahat ng programa, lahat ng services, dapat i-include natin ang lens ng disability inclusiveness. And hence, yung framework, ito na ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon, no? Kasi, ang feeling kasi namin, Attorney Jer, kami ang magkakito. So, we wanted people to help us draft the framework. So, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Director Karen. Yan ang 5 days guide.
We are the Department of Labor and Employment. Kanina, diniscuss pala yung Republic Act 7277. What is that law all about? Well, it mandates all government agency, don't included, to consider the hiring of PWDs at least 1%. 1% nga ba? Now, I ask you, especially from the HRDS, may 1% na po ba tayo? Wala. So, I think, maging polisiya po siguro natin yon if in past decades hindi po natin na-implement, maybe with the framework we should input a proposal na for purposes of hiring we shall also consider this group of individuals to be part of our complement. Dagdagan po natin sila, sir.
When it comes to employment, no, ano mga nagiging problema natin, transportation, mga kaibigan, so, lalo na sa ating mga naka-wheelchair, no, yun ang nagiging problema natin. Kaya nga po yun ang purpose ng vlog ko, no, nagtuturo ko ako mag-drive ng sasakyan para at least, so, yun ang magiging paa natin, no, sa pagpasok at pag-uwi sa bahay. It comes to employment applicant. We will be undergoing same process with the non-PWD, no, is going through. Like for example, yung screening process with regards to credential. Of course, hindi mawawala yung credential. Siyempre, number one yan. So, yung skilled, no? So, we have to consider also the company policy for that matter.